So we've just come across the loch on Arkaig Fire to Loch Arkaig Pine Forest. Loch Arkaig Pine Forest is a co-owned, co-managed forest between Woodland Trust and Arkaig Community Forest. We have a unique partnership arrangement where legally Woodland Trust own 95% of the site and the community own 5%, though we have a management agreement across the whole site and manage it together.
So I'm Jessica Maxwell. I'm the Project Development Manager at Loch Arkaig Pine Forest. I work for Woodland Trust Scotland. And we work in partnership with Arkaig Community Forest on the restoration of Loch Arkaig Pine Forest. And we acquired the site back in 2016 and we co-own and co-manage this 1,000-hectare ancient Caledonian pinewood. So a big part of the partnership is developing social enterprises, benefiting rural livelihoods. So we actually undertook a socio-economic baseline study at the beginning of the project, really to understand how many people live and work here, what businesses are benefiting from the project, how many people are deriving their income either through direct employment or ecotourism, other things like that. And the idea is that we repeat that socio-economic study every 5 years to understand what impact our involvement in the restoration of this forest is having in the local area.
My name's Davy Austin. I've been living in Clunes for 14 years now. The little building that we're sitting in just now, this is the forestry school. So this was set up by what would have been then, I think, the Forestry Commission as a base for doing education stuff for primary schools. They've given it or handed it really over to the community to use as a base and also to use for meetings when we had local community meetings. We've had barbecues here, we've had garden days where we've worked on the allotments just in the willow orchard, next to the willow orchard, and here we had some raised beds here as well. Painting sessions, quite a few community gatherings, so it's been a good wee base for getting stuff going.
So I'm Cathy and I've come to set up the native tree nursery here at Arkaig Community Forest. Working with Woodland Trust, setting up a production of native local provenance trees. So we've been collecting seed sources from the forest and hoping to grow those seeds into trees that will get planted into the kind of restoration of the forest. There will be kind of enrichment planting of species that don't so easily spread there naturally. So things like aspen or juniper that are very rare in the forest in the first place, or things like hazel that we can, hazels and oaks that we can help grow on in smaller numbers and then plant them in to enrich the kind of species mix.
My name's Lewis Pate. I'm currently one of the directors of Arkaig Community Forest. I stay locally here. I've been helping them out with primarily the deer larder, which is a brand new sparkling modular Fisher deer larder. Hasn't actually had a deer put through it as yet, but we're working on that. But we've got this resource now. We had a funding bid in which paid for a few bits and pieces, including a tree nursery and composting toilet. And it's given us something to work with that hopefully will develop into an income stream. We've also had aspirations, or we have aspirations to develop a community venison project. So we work in partnership with the Woodland Trust. They own the vast majority of the two sections of forest at the Goosock and Glen Meilly, but they have deer in them. We've closed the fence. The Glen Meilly block was open to deer for some considerable time, and nothing was really regenerating in there. There was very little recruitment. So we closed the fence a few years ago, and there are a resident population of stags and hinds in there, and gradually we're reducing that number. The Woodland Trust have employed contractors to do that, but we also have the ability to go in there and remove deer ourselves. The idea is to bring deer out of the forest, process them through here, and have venison available at sensible prices for the local community. And the Woodland Trust have been really instrumental in bringing significant resources to the area. So we've created a lot of work for subcontractors. A lot of us, the locals, have had to work out of it. And over the last 4 or 5 years, it's created a lot of employment for local people, which has been great. And none of that would have happened under, as it would still be National Forest Estate.
Yeah, I think this is a really unique situation for the Woodland Trust, working in such close partnership with Arkaig Community Forest, and we really bring different strengths to the table. So we have quite a lot of experience, quite a lot of resource behind us for the restoration process, and we do that with Arkaig Community Forest, but they really bring the people aspect, the sort of bringing people on board, getting people out into the woods for work days, helping with outdoor learning and volunteering. And so I think it's a really great example of how an environmental NGO and a community landowner can work together for combined benefit.
So we're currently stood in Acknassall Forest, which is a plantation on ancient woodland site. So that's where we've got ancient woodland that has been planted with commercial conifers. And this site we're hoping to acquire through the Community Asset Transfer Scheme, which is a scheme to acquire land off of Forest and Land Scotland. So we're hoping that this site can be used for a variety of purposes. The main focus is to restore the ancient woodland by removing the non-native conifers and any invasive species. We've got quite a few on this site, unfortunately. We're also hoping that the site would be appropriate for housing and woodlotting or woodland crofting, and would be able to support livelihoods in the area.